Hi everyone, today we will be talking about the upcoming SEC Championship, how it works, who's currently top 4, and the challenges they will face to stay there. Hi and welcome to Davis Sports Report. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hit that thumbs up to help us stay in the algorithm. The SEC Women's Basketball Championship will be March 5th through the 9th in Greenville, South Carolina. Here's how it works. All 16 SEC teams will participate, but the top 4 teams get a double bye, not competing until the quarterfinals, which provides them a couple of extra days of rest and fresh legs for the competition. The winner of the SEC tournament gets an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. The top 4 are determined by their overall AP ranking. Currently, there are 8 of the 16 SEC teams in the AP Top 25. That's 50% of the SEC teams. And while the SEC tournament is still a month away and not on everyone's mind, it is top of mind for some.
And it was just the gravity of the game. It was it was necessary for us to win this game. The implications of the SEC standings, the NCAA tournament, like all of those things matter. And we could say it's not a big game, but it's a big game. It's a big game come March when we're playing in the SEC tournament, when we're playing in when the NCAA committee gets together and see us winning this game. And for tiebreaker as well.
If the tournament were today, the top 4 teams would be number 2, South Carolina, number 4, Texas, number 6, LSU, and number 11, Kentucky. But there is still lots of tough games ahead, so let's not count our chickens just yet. Let's head over and see what these teams will face coming up. South Carolina still has to face number 4, Texas, number 5, UConn, number 24, Vanderbilt, and number 11, Kentucky. Texas still has to face number 24, Vanderbilt, number 2, South Carolina, number 11, Kentucky, and number 6, LSU. LSU still has to face number 19, Tennessee, number 4, Texas, number 11, Kentucky, and number 23, Alabama. And Kentucky still has to face number 4, Texas, number 6, LSU, number 19, Tennessee, and number 2, South Carolina. Other SEC teams right on their tails are number 15, Oklahoma, and by looking at their remaining schedule, doesn't really have a clear path to the top 4, unless one of the top 4 teams loses once or twice to a lower-ranked team, and they'd have to win all of their remaining games. There's also Tennessee, who actually does have an opportunity to get into the top 4. If they can take out LSU and Kentucky, they would absolutely secure a spot in the top 4. And I actually feel if Tennessee can play smart ball, they can probably take out at least one of those 2. Then there's 23rd ranked Alabama. They have a much slimmer path to the top 4. They would have to take out LSU, and another team ranked above them would have to go down. I mean, it could happen. Crazier things have happened this season. And lastly, there's number 24 Vanderbilt, who if they can defeat both Texas and South Carolina, they could take one of those top 4 spots. I mean, Michaela Blakes did just put up 53 points over my Florida Gators, so she's clearly got the hot hands right now. But if they are cold from the 3-point line, they don't have a chance in hay. South Carolina. The Lady Gamecocks have taken down both Texas and LSU this season, both without the help of injured star forward Ashlyn Watkins. Most recently, South Carolina took out the LSU Tigers, and despite the 10-point difference in the score, this game was a tough game for the Gamecocks, and it was LSU's 17 turnovers along with a big night for Sanaya Fagan and Joyce Edwards that helped get them the victory. Against Texas, the Gamecocks had a decent night overall, shooting 51% from the field goal and 3 of 7 from the arch, while holding Texas star forward Madison Booker to only 7 points.
Off the charts today. Was it she was doing that just within the game, or had that been the game plan to say we're going to stick her on, just Bree on her, and maybe not rotate?
I mean, we knew Breezy was the primary defender. We knew she was going to have to come out of the game at some point. And I thought everybody else that guarded her, Tessa came in, did a pretty good job on her, but I think she just had a really off night. I think part of that was us. The other part was just she was missing Chippy. She's missing mid-range shots. I mean, she's a 50% shooter. So part of that was, the luck of the CLA's lid being put on the rim for her. But we're fortunate. We're fortunate. We took care of home because we got to go there and play, and it's probably going to be enough tough game.
We'll see on that side, Joe. Luckily, the Gamecocks will not play LSU again in the regular season, but they will be facing Texas in Texas very soon. On their last encounter, center Sanaya Fagan stepped up big for the Gamecocks with 8 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 blocked shots, while Raven Johnson put in the work on defense, grabbing 10 rebounds. And we can't forget Tahina Pau, who was 2 of 3 from the three-point line and contributed 11 points, matched with Chloe Kitt's 11 points. Followed closely by freshman Joyce Edwards, that's really gotten comfortable with her role on the court, contributing 10 points. But to have a repeat victory over Texas, South Carolina will need to stick with the assignment in the second half as their scoring decreased in the second half. As well, they will have to have a significant decrease in turnovers. South Carolina will also face the number 6 ranked UConn Huskies, where we will see the number 1 and number 2 top recruits of the 2024 class face off for the first time in their college career. Sarah Strong will be accompanied by hotshot scorer Paige Beckers and Ozzie Fudd. If they lose this game, it will likely drop them a point or two in the top AP Top 25 rankings. As for Texas, if they want the results to be different against South Carolina, they need to game plan in the event that Booker gets shut down again. Kayla Oldacre, coming off the bench, was the only Longhorn in double digits on their first meetup. This time around, Taylor Jones and Shea Holly are going to have to play a bigger role. Texas is coming off a 5-game winning streak where Booker and Jones split the lead scorers. During that streak, Texas had an impressive win over Maryland, but they were without their star guard, Cheyenne Sellers. In that game, the Longhorns had 4 players scoring in double digits. But also during that streak, the Longhorns was almost upset by then-ranked number 17 Tennessee, despite Booker scoring 26 points and Jones having a double-double.
Texas wins 80-76.
I thought they showed a lot of toughness tonight. Again, not our best night, but they know I'm all about that. And I just thought we showed a lot of toughness. Amo's out there on one leg. Taylor's out there, she had an issue with her shoulder, and yet those kids continue to fight and play.
As stated before, Texas will be hosting South Carolina for round 2, as well as Georgia A. Moore and the Kentucky Wildcats, and LSU, who's proving they are the real thing despite what's being said about their lack of tough opponents early in their schedule. LSU encountered their first and only defeat when they faced the South Carolina Gamecocks, and don't let the 10-point difference fool you. That was a very competitive game, but South Carolina had a great third quarter, securing them the win. LSU also faced Tennessee, whose record doesn't reflect their talent. LSU beat Tennessee by 2 points, and it really could have gone either way. This week, LSU faced 13th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners, and this was another near loss, as the Sooners cut a 24-point lead down to 2. How, you may ask? They put the press defense on in the second half, resulting in multiple turnovers.
Yeah, Coach, what was it like trying to weather that storm of the comeback that they had, and then eventually getting Michaela the ball enough to
we were cool as a cucumber. We didn't, no big deal. Of course, we're sitting over there like, how did we lose a 24-point lead? You didn't handle the 1-2-2 press. So I went from Cheyenne to KG to Michaela. That's where we were. was it 6 or 7, I don't know, points there in a row, and that's what happened at South Carolina. You know, you turn the ball over, bam, bam, and good teams are going to capitalize on that. And that's how it became a game, is turnovers.
Against Oklahoma, LSU had 19 turnovers, 12 of those coming from Flau'jae Johnson and Cheyenne Day Wilson. But the savior of the night was Michaela Williams with a career-high 37 points, going 7 of 12 from the three-point line. And you can add to that 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals. This young lady was Superwoman. In addition to Michaela's 34 points, Flau'jae had 25 and Anissa Morrow followed with 21. Samaya Smith was ejected from the game for fighting and will have to sit out the next game against Mississippi State. LSU will have to face Tennessee again, and they too have a full court press that can cripple and exhaust any team, especially if all of their players are healthy. This is going to be a pivotal game for the Tigers. After that, they will face Rory Harmon and Madison Booker for the Longhorns for their first meetup this season, and if Taylor Jones is having a good night, this is going to be another tough game for the Tigers.
This game was all about the guards. Deja Lawrence and Georgia Amore combined for 55 points and 13 assists. Lawrence, 7 of 11 from 3, Amore, 7 of 10 from 3. The team broke and reset a school record for most made three-pointers in a game with 18 against the Bulldogs. Tiani Key adds a double-double of 10 points and 13 boards. And with this game, Key, Strack, and Hassett are now the 5th trio in NCAA D1 history to average 9 boards per game. The Cats held one of the most efficient offenses in the league to 36% from the field, a tone-setting win for the Cats as they continue league play.
I think each game we learn something. We come together every game, but coming into conference, the main thing was just playing for each other. If you have it, you have it, and finding their best play, not necessarily the play that's right in front of you, but just finding the right play, the best play for the team. So and we love playing for each other. We love playing with each other. So every opportunity, every day in practice, we're trying to get better. We're going to celebrate this win tonight, but tomorrow we're going to watch film to learn what we can do to get better for the next game.
Well, next for the Wildcats.
The Kentucky Wildcats have 2 unexpected losses. Well, maybe not unexpected to everyone, but unexpected to me. Kentucky has 5 players averaging in the double digits, led by Georgia Amore, Clara Strack, Deja Lawrence, Tioni Key, and Amelia Hassett. And as you just heard, the 3-ball is their game. Kentucky will also be meeting up with Texas, and if Tioni Key can hold down Madison Booker, they may have a chance. But LSU and South Carolina are going to be their biggest hurdles as they match up pretty well size to size.
The first loss, we were still trying to figure out who we were, and now we're understanding who we are a little bit. And this league is too tough. I don't think anyone's going to go undefeated, and South Carolina is great, but there's great teams in here that will challenge you, on every given night. So to be able to try to go undefeated, that's going to be a very tall feat for anyone. So it was more of, hey, how do we handle it? And when we came back.
Coach, I guess for both of y'all, you're heading into a big stretch of games where tough slate to end the season. Just how big was it today to kind of get back on track?
We've been in a tough slate, Phoenix.
Yeah.
Every game is tough, and to say that teams, the Vanderbilt and the Floridas and everybody's not tough. Every game is tough, and we approach it one game at a time.
How are you guys working together to avoid fatigue? As SEC play is difficult top to bottom.
I think, and I know why you guys talk about it so much, because you are reporters and you're journalists and you do a fantastic job, and that's what you're supposed to talk about. All right, but we are well aware of their level of fatigue. There's not a team in the country right now that's not tired. Okay.
As you heard Coach Kenny Brooks state, there isn't a team in the country that's not tired, but like you saw, this race is so tight that one loss can take any of these teams out of the running. So each of these teams will need to bring their A game for the remainder of the season if they want their shot at being the next SEC champion. Okay, so now that we've seen what everyone is facing, based on the remaining games, Do you think these will be the top 4 teams that hold down those elite top 4 spots? Or do you think Tennessee, Alabama, or Vanderbilt can sneak in and steal one of those spots like a thief in the night? We can't wait to hear your comments, so please leave them below so we can keep this conversation going as we watch this drama play out. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you on the next one. Goodbye.